This is a video recorded statement. I'm going to apologize in advance for the background music. I'm at McDonald's. It's 90 degrees outside. I ain't doing it outside. This is the most private place I could find. When I went to Koozie on Tuesday, I guess it was, and somebody with a badge answered the door. It was a lady with long brown hair and glasses. She said, "Can you not call the police?" I was a little too rattled and plus I'm autistic, and being in a lot of pain, the sensory overload, not only compounded with the pain, but the pressure of having to get my daily needs met, plus Kinnear, basically, when he made those stupid faces at me on the video, that was him saying, "Fuck you." That's a threat. Now, it's subtext. It's an indirect threat, but it's a threat. Now, you have to understand, I audio and video recorded him following me on Christmas Day. We were both staying at Champlain Inn. I went down to hang out in the dugout. There was snow. There was basically a freezing rain happening on Christmas Day of 2022. Was it 2022? No, Christmas Day of 2021, I guess. Anyway, so I said I'm a whistleblower investigator. So basically I told him everything that was going on. So he can't say he doesn't know he's obstructing an ongoing criminal investigation. So when he's flipping me off and making those stupid faces, and apparently him or somebody who matches his exact description, older white guy with glasses and a ball cap, jacking off around my tent on the trail cam footage, which I couldn't watch. I have an adapter in here that I can plug into my phone, but the phone I had at the time before I sent those SD cards off to Florida through a private courier that works through the AA program, I couldn't look at it. So they're telling me it's a white guy, and they're saying when they see the video of Kinnear, they say it looks like the same image because it was night vision. I had those trail cams set on motion activated and night vision, so no flash would go off, and I had them well hidden so nobody would know where they were at, even when they kicked on. And they were very, I think the range was like 50 or 100 feet. So, if it did kick on and there was any noise, whoever set it off wouldn't be able to hear it. So based on what the team in Florida is telling me, Kinnear matches the description of whoever is on that video committing sex crimes in public on that hidden camera. So, plus he's on the audio and video knowingly. He knows I'm a detective. He knows I work for private attorneys who are involved in the Epstein and Trump and Biden, all that crap, and the investigation about Buffalo City Hall. So he's technically the only one I can legally use the pepper spray or taser on. All the others, they're just suspects. They've never openly and they're not on video going like this. Screw you, I'm going to keep obstructing, I'm going to keep helping Trump, I'm going to keep helping Biden, I'm going to keep help because whatever, whatever his motive is, because it gets his little pecker heart, whatever the fuck his motivation is. So technically he's the only one I can use the mace against. Also, the special victims detective asked me why I couldn't call police. Since Weinberger and all of the police officers are involved in this racketeering, and Officer Mike Goslin is on record stating he's going to go illegally solicit criminal complaints against me to give him probable cause, to give him, the police department, the mayor, and everybody else probable cause to keep these sick registered sex offenders that they're basically turning into snitches and violent offenders that they turn snitch. He's already on record stating that. The sheriff's department has it, special counsel has all that. So Kinnear was sent there to the transit station to make a false criminal allegation, to get police there, to give the police, because the police have to have probable cause to get in anybody's face. So they have these snitch shacketeers, or whether I don't know whether he works for one of their private attorneys. I don't know whether he's, like Gary Galloway, who's a registered sex offender that was I don't know all of the I don't know how his agency is established, but he's definitely an agent of the mayor's, which I got him implicating the mayor on video when he ran up to the mayor and panicked because I was video recording it. To ask him, but what do I do? She's recording. These are total idiots, which means he's capable of anything, which makes him far more dangerous than the rest of them. Because one thing my father taught me is special forces to counter terrorism. Stupid is dangerous. You can't fix stupid. You can't reform it. You see how Biden and Trump are handling, and Byron Brown are handling being that's all. And I'm mentioning that not because they're the only ones, but they're publicly, openly, notoriously going, fuck you. We're going to do what we're going to do, and fuck Hochul's independent investigation and whatever. In their sick, narcissistic minds, they're going to win, which means they will kill anybody. They have killed multiple people, and they will continue to do it because in their mind, they're slick. They're brilliant. They're smart. They're going to get away with it. So, bottom line is, to answer the detective's question, no, I can't call police because the police are sending Kinnear, not just Kinnear, but all these other people there to lie, call 911, and give the police probable cause to come there and shoot me or lock me up or whatever. And it started with the SVU in Buffalo. So our team in Florida doesn't necessarily trust Chittenden County SVU, Sheriff's Department, or anybody else. We're doing it. AA doesn't answer to anybody. We cannot be an agent of any law enforcement agency. We're simply defending ourselves. And let me tell you, based on what my AA team of, some of them are counselors, some of them are lawyers, some of them are, I don't even know. I'm not going to go into what all they are or not. But based on what they were telling me before I ever left Chad's, they had him under investigation long before Chad ever met me. Chad apparently had a long history of going into AA because he would be ordered in there by some judge or some prosecutor or whatever. Never mind, they knew he wasn't self-reporting to the Florida bar like he was mandated. And then he would prey on AA people and then use his police power, or the criminals that he represented. He would have the gangs kill or harm Chad's victims. And the police helped. Because Chad worked for Orlando Police Department. So he had a long history of doing this to people. So it ain't just about me. And Chad knew they knew that. That's why Chad and the doctor or physician's assistant at University of Vermont are on record demanding to know who it is that's helping me. And who's investigating Chad. Chad knew he was put under investigation by a judge. He threatened a judge in Sanford, Florida courtroom. It was a juvenile case, juvenile trespassing. It was a juvenile female. She was homeless and she slept in somebody's yard. They charged her with trespassing. Well, apparently, the prosecutor kept making motions, and Chad said that motion, that goes against this precedent. And instead of saying, in honor and all due respect, here's a law, the prosecutor's wrong, you need to change he threatened to report the judge to the chief counsel instead of just saying, hey, you granted the motion of the prosecutor even though it goes against, and then cite whatever precedent it was. And that's all in emails. So that's all a matter of public record. Yes, juvenile records are sealed, but that wasn't really pertaining to her. That was between the prosecutor, the defense attorney, and the judge. So the judge, Chad, was strung out. He'd been up on drugs all night doing whatever the hell he was doing. Went into court strung out, threatened the judge, and so Chad, I guess he had to consult his own criminal defense attorney, who said, "I don't know if you have a drug or alcohol problem or not, but if you do, I'm telling you, you have to self-report to the Florida bar. You're mandated to do that." And then they have to go through the Florida bar's drug rehab program, where they have to go to meetings where it's nothing but attorneys, so you can't get over. And you have to be subject to random drug tests. And Chad said, "Fuck that, I ain't doing that." So the mayor knows that. So anyway, that's why I can't call police. Because the police are the ones sending in these slick shacketers or private investigators for the attorneys that are defending them in this case. Not really, basically, the attorneys can be severed as counsel and tried as co-defendants, which we're already seeing that publicly happen with the Trump crap. But anyway, that's why I can't call police, because the police are the ones sending these fools, just like on New Year's Eve of this past New Year's Eve. I met a friend at Hannaford to discuss the case and other matters. They were watching our texts and just made assumptions, because we always use false stuff to justify, because we don't want the police to know what we're doing. So I go into Hannaford. They think I'm going to be getting in the car with him. He says, "Oh, I'll give you a ride back." Well, I never texted him and told him I was going to go ahead and take the bus back, because I had other shit to do. Police didn't know that. So the police waited for me to go, talk to him, go inside, get my stuff, and come out, waited for me to get to the car. And then we got, all of them rolled up on us and said, "Oh, we got a call that there was some yelling going on in the car, and there's a beer can under the car." Well, it wasn't Kinnear that time that I know of. Maybe Kinnear was working somewhere and I didn't see him, because I usually don't see him until he's been there a while. Or maybe it was somebody else. And that's why I wrote it up to the sheriff's department. I said, I doubt that the police got a call at all. And if they did, it was probably one of their cronies that works at Hannaford or one of their snitch shackers. Because they need probable cause to get up in our face. So they set up these things, and then Bill Kinnear would not have been trying to make a false allegation that I was violating his privacy by video recording him and wanting transit security to call police, unless he already knew that the police who were going to show up were going to lie. And that's another one of the motives of why they're doing this. Kinnear and 2 Buffalo PD officers set up some stupid scene there at the transit center to make it look like Kinnear was a victim of police brutality. They're trying to make it look like Kinnear doesn't work for the police. So that gets Kinnear off the hook, and it gets the police off the hook. So the police are setting this shit up, not only to maintain his cover so Kinnear can keep on gathering information on the victims, but not be associated with the police. So let's say I had stayed there and let it play out. The police officers who would have rolled up would have said, gone along with it, either locked me up as a schizophrenic or locked me up for whatever, and then they could have trespassed me from the buses. I can only speculate as to what they would have done once they got there, but I know the whole purpose of it was to, number one, have probable cause for the police to get involved, to be called there, to have a victim to call 911 on me. And then 2, make it look like Kinnear ain't a police officer or a police agent. Which not only gets him off the hook, it gets the police and the mayor off the hook. So that's called contingency planning. That's called governing dynamics. At least with my military training anyway. And that's also based on what I recorded in the past. So I don't know whether they're going to lock me up in Battleboro, but guess what? I ain't no fucking cop. I didn't apply for a job at the law offices of Chad Cronin. He just casually said, raise your right hand, I gotta swear you in. Oh, it's just a formality. Oh, okay, all right. I thought it was just a formality. He said, so you can't be subpoenaed or prosecuted to testify against my client. So I went ahead and got sworn in. But also, Chad was my attorney. So this is also about me defending myself. And it's also to defend, when Kinnear is threatening me, it's him trying to gain my trust so he can find out who those all the other attorneys are, and medical doctors and medical students that are saving my life. So that's a direct threat to them. And they're going to defend themselves. We're going to defend ourselves any way we see fit, because we are an independent AA thing. Of course, they weren't raped. They don't have, and another thing, my genitals are mutilated. The uterine cancer causes swelling that encroaches on the sciatic nerve, and it causes swelling all in your crotch. The swelling is visible if you were to look at my rear end, right above the top of my butt cheeks, you would see swelling. Well, that isn't just there. It's all, my crotch is black and blue and swollen. These people are mutilating my genitals and my reproductive organs. And since they deliberately accelerated the cancer, which means they made it metastatic deliberately, it's in my dental plate, it's in my sinuses, it's in the back of my head. I can actually slice that fucker's throat, and there's nobody can do anything about it, because I have asked for Vic services for 3 fucking years. I have hopefuls undercover saying, oh, well, you're a good cop being murdered by a bad cop. Yet nobody's getting me Vic services. She has her detective go on Facebook, oh, we've got something scheduled for May 2nd. Knowing it was a lie. And then just left me there, dangled me out there like bait. Basically handed them the gun to kill me with, so she could later turn around and charge them with homicide. Well, in the state of Florida, you have, under Rachel's law, you don't get to do any harm. You don't get to hand a murderer a gun so you can turn around and charge them with murder later. That's entrapment. That's no different than if the sheriff was at a party and gave somebody cocaine and then had one of his deputies go and pull him over so he could charge him with possession with intent to sell and give him a DUI. And say that, oh, it looked like he was driving under the influence, as probable cause to pull him over so he could then catch him with the cocaine when the sheriff gave it to him in the first place. I'm just giving you an analogy. That's entrapment. When you leave me out here to my own devices and then think that you're going to have some undercover saying, oh, no, don't pepper spray them, just keep recording them, that's really pissing them off. AA does whatever AA does. And it isn't... I can't tell my team what to do, and they can't tell me what to do. That coin says, to thine own self be true. And we can't be police agents. We can't, and no police or government agents can give us orders. So if I have to mace Bill Kinnear because I don't get Vic services, guess what? All those people affected will have their own goddamn lawsuit against the city of Burlington and Chittenden County and the state of Vermont. Because I emailed the mayor. And they could sue the state of New York, DOJ, and everybody else who's leaving me out here. Every day that I'm not getting Vic services and getting proper medical examinations to find out where all the cancer is in my head, which uterine cancer is a hormonal, it's already affecting the pituitary and pineal gland. It means it's already brain-oriented and behavioral-oriented. So our AA team isn't going to hear any, oh, well, you just can't control yourself. You've left me out here without proper cancer care or Vic services or proper independent medical exams to find out where the cancer's at. You let it continue to accelerate throughout my fucking head for 3-4 fucking years. Then you're going to tell me I can't control myself? Plus being autistic? And then you have all the sensory overload and everything else? No. If he's going to flip me off and say, fuck you, and overtly threaten me, I'm going to mace him if that's what it takes to keep, because he's doing it. And if Maybe if it takes pepper spray so that he doesn't associate me in such a way that it gets his dick hard, then so be it. Fucking do your job. If you had gotten me Vic Services and filed the proper injunctions against the mayor on behalf of and gotten AA corporate involved, they can't. They're in Florida. Florida elected a governor who called his opponent a porch monkey. He used subtext. He said, "Oh, we don't want to monkey things up." That's subtext for porch monkey. And they didn't elect him in spite of that. They elected him because he said that, because that's a Klan state. Remember, the Epstein case was a Florida case. We don't know about it because of any Florida whistleblowers. We know about it only because of the investigator at the Miami Herald, blowing the whistle on the entire state of Florida and the U.S. District Attorney. So what they're up against down there, that's old 1954 Mississippi down there. They are as flagrant and arrogant about their lynchings, they brag about it. So you woke-ass motherfuckers in New York and Vermont don't have no idea what they're going through down there. Especially when many of the attorneys involved have kids with special needs. They have medical issues they have to deal with, and they know Chad's father's a hospital administrator involved in healthcare fraud with DeSantis and convicted fraudster Rick Scott. The state of Florida elected Rick Scott knowing he was the perpetrator of the largest healthcare fraud scam in U.S. history. So that's how toxic that environment is down there. So don't judge us. You're in no place. Unless your genitals are swollen and your teeth are rotting in your mouth because of metastatic uterine cancer, deliberately accelerated uterine cancer to make it rapidly metastasize throughout your bones, your head. My lungs are mutilated. My reproductive organs are mutilated until you've been raped, and you get raped on a daily basis. And every day you've got bullets flying over your head. Don't tell me how to do my job. You can't, because I'm doing it on behalf of AA. And it's also part of my criminal defense. I'm going to have cops who refuse me victim services tell me how to defend myself from false criminal allegations by corrupt cops that they've already acknowledged are murdering me. Get the fuck out of here.